Productions.
For a long time, Alien Trilogy for the original PlayStation was my favorite first-person shooter of all time. 1 year after its release, the movie Alien Resurrection came out in theaters in 1997. So naturally, we expected another game to come along with it. But it would take another 3 years thanks to development hell before Alien Resurrection finally arrived on the PlayStation as a first-person shooter in the year 2000. It was developed by Argonaut Software, who are most famous for inventing the Super FX chip for the Super Nintendo and creating Starwing. Personally, I knew them as the developers of Croc. Now, how do you go from this to this? It has been a very long time since I've played this. We must have gotten it in around 2002, I think. From what I remember, the game's visuals blew me away as a kid, but it was too hard for me to make any real progress. I could never beat Alien Trilogy back then either, but if you watch my recent review of that game, you know that I was able to finish it on all 3 difficulty settings without using cheats. So I'm optimistic. This time I only want to beat the game once, however, so I set the game to normal. Let's find out how the game holds up 21 years after its release and if it could improve on Alien Trilogy.
Gfrom, the gamer, the legend, he's come to show you the way in this world of games. Gfrom Reviews.
The game starts with a very impressive CGI cutscene. The quality is outstanding and might even be the best you can find on the good old PlayStation. It gives you a good taste of what you can expect from this game. The plot is basically like in the movie. Try to escape the space vessel without dying a horrible death. Sounds cheerful, right? This game is best played in the dark. Even the menu gives you a feeling of claustrophobia and dread. Level 1. Detention Block Alpha. We start off as Ripley, or Clone Ripley really, with no weapons and very little health. When you're low on energy, you're reminded by your loud and constant heartbeats. It doesn't take long before we find our first weapon. Pistols with infinite ammo. We can't run out of ammo in this game.
That's nice. Thank you, game.
I hope the pistols are more useful than in Alien Trilogy. Already, I have to say that the game's visuals are phenomenal for a 32-bit game. The flickering lights, the electric bolts, overall the lighting is just exceptional. That goes for the audio as well. Unlike Alien Trilogy, this game has no music at all. Instead, you hear sounds of the spaceship and machinery, information from Father, the ship's computer, screaming people in the distance, and... what was that? Did you see that? I'm pretty sure that wasn't a puppy. Another dead body. Holy shit! That was a great way to introduce the aliens. It fucking exploded! This game is pretty damn brutal for a PS1 game. There are bloody corpses everywhere and there's even blood dripping from the ceiling. That's a level of detail you didn't see that often back then. Ooh, there was another alien. You only see them for a split second and I just hope that this pistol is capable of killing them. I've only played a few minutes and already I've seen some vast improvements over the previous game. First, we have an inventory. You don't use the medkits immediately after picking them up, so you can use them whenever you please. They come in 3 different sizes. Second, we can climb ladders, which allows for more complex levels. And third, vertical aiming isn't weird and awkward anymore. You can, get this, use the right analog stick to aim. Isn't that crazy? Back then I wouldn't have known this because at home we only had the regular PlayStation controller. I had to use the shoulder buttons for aiming and that was a little bit of a pain.
But now with my kick-ass DualShock controller it finally feels right and makes this a much smoother experience.
Alien Resurrection was one of the first games ever with this kind of control scheme. Reading old reviews of this game is really something else. The controls that are now standard for literally every first-person shooter released nowadays were heavily criticized by reviewers.
Aiming with the right stick? What is this madness?
The people weren't ready yet. I can't believe it would take so long before this control scheme was widely accepted. Playing games like Agent Under Fire for the PS2 feels awful today. The game only lets you save at certain points and each save state takes up 2 blocks on your memory card. That might become a problem, but we'll see. Oh hey, a friend! Let's team up and kill some aliens. What the hell? Okay, so he wasn't a friend. What an asshole. Can we do headshots in this game?
Headshot.
Yes, we can. But the alarm got off. Where did this guy come from? Damn, dead again. Man, how many of these guys are there? After a few attempts, I managed to kill all of them and turn off the alarm. Oh shit! Please protect me, pretty pistol. Don't fail me now. Whoa. Okay, so the pistol actually works well on aliens. I'm impressed. And can we just compare this alien to the ones from Alien Trilogy for a second? Yes, these games are both on the same system.
It's mind-blowing how far they progressed in only 4 years.
It becomes pretty clear that you don't stand a chance against multiple human enemies at once if you play this like a standard shooter. If you don't take cover, you will take a lot of damage and waste multiple medpacks or possibly die. Here we find our second weapon, the double-barreled shotgun. Sounds promising. At certain points we meet non-violent NPCs. This guy leaves us a keycard and runs away, probably to his death. So we pick up the keycard and... shit! I have to get used to the aiming, that's for sure.
It's not like in modern games where you have full control over the camera movement.
It's kind of hard to explain, but you have to move the stick quite a bit before anything happens, and that makes precise aiming a real struggle, and I'd say almost impossible, especially in stressful situations. With the shotgun I could deal with it quicker and more effectively though. And that was the first level. Almost every one of them ends with you calling a different character. There is no voice acting here, just plain text that explains what you have to do in the next stage. The first level wasn't too bad. It took me 28 minutes and I died quite often, but I guess you just have to learn how this game works if you want to get better at it. Level 2. Engineering Deck. In this stage you play as Call, the android who was played by Winona Ryder in the movie.
My magnets fall off my damn fridge!
That means we don't have the same weapons as before. We start with just pistols and get shot at by a random prick right in the beginning. You can shoot the crates and barrels to get some goodies like ammunition and medicine. Some need to be shot with other bullets than from your pistol. Thankfully, a shotgun isn't far away. With X you crouch. Do we really have to crawl through vents in this game? Not too thrilling. I guess it does make you feel like a kid again, exploring the playground. And just like you learned in preschool, always look to the right and left before leaving a vent, or you get run over by extraterrestrial life forms. It's a little confusing to navigate and it's pretty dark in some places. Where did he come from? Whew, that was close. Well, I guess we can't go that way, so let's climb this ladder. This button shuts down the power. Whoa! Did you see that? With just one shot I blew the alien to pieces. Awesome! Something's trying to smash through that door. Ah, shit, I couldn't react that fast. There was no save point up to this point, so I have to do all that shit again. Took me 12 minutes to get here. This time I wasted more ammo, so I hope I can kill this next alien with one shot again. No, I can't. Damn, another 10 minutes wasted. Now I have more ammo. What the hell, man? It's so difficult to aim when this prick is running towards me in a zigzag pattern. Another 10 minutes I won't get back. This has to be it. I don't want to die here again. Thank God. This time I know about the alien behind the door. Take that, bitch. Finally, a save point. We're making some progress here. And I found myself a laser.
Laser.
Man, I'm wasting too much shotgun ammo. As soon as we turn this valve, 2 aliens come after you at once. They start attacking as a team on this level. Let's try the laser. Sweet! What's up with that guy? Not so smart after all. The laser kicks some serious ass. These transition areas are the only places where you can feel safe and just breathe for a second. Breathe. With the laser you can shoot them from a comfortable distance. I just hope I will find more ammo for it. Often aliens are triggered when you push certain buttons or pick up stuff. The motion tracker warns you of incoming aliens, but sometimes they show up so quickly that it really doesn't make that much of a difference. The sound of the tracker makes me more nervous than anything. They appear more frequently now. Ah, come on, man! 10 minutes of progress down the drain. This felt really cheap.
That is some trial and error bullshit I can't stand. With save states it wouldn't be so bad, but I'm playing this legit, man.
This time I know about the jumping bastard. So let's just carefully... Fuck! Man, another 10 minutes wasted. Now I'll position myself a little bit more to the right. I hope this works. Whew. You know, I would just backtrack and save at the first save point, but you can't. We have to move forward and hope for the best. Did you see that? I blew his fucking head off. Jesus Christ, that was amazing. And here we finally have another save point. Man, this game really hates me. Not only do we have multiple aliens that jump all over the place with absurd speed, but now we also have a time limit of 8 minutes? Talk about stress. What am I supposed to do here? I was right, the game does hate me. Aliens in vents.
What more do you need for a fulfilling life of joy and wonder?
How about 3 aliens at once? And what if I told you that they can spit acid in this game? It's hard to figure out where they are sometimes because they can be anywhere. The ceiling, walls, and all of a sudden they're right next to you. On your first try you need luck on your side. I finally figured out what to do and now we're at the end of the level. This stage was a lot harder than the first. The further you get, the more aliens are out to get you at once, and some are impossible to react to without knowing about their location. I'm afraid it will only get more difficult. Level 3. Clone Research. We play as Ripley again and therefore have our same arsenal from the first level. So we don't have the laser or the motion tracker anymore. But guess what we do have in this level? Eggs. Eggs containing facehuggers. My god! This actually looks pretty impressive, at least compared to this. This will be a nightmare. These facehuggers are so small and quick and I'm aiming with the DualShock controller. It's gonna suck, I just know it. In Alien Trilogy, you just lost a little bit of health when they jumped onto your face. Here, they plant an alien inside of you. The bar underneath your health indicates how much time you have before it bursts out of your chest. Thankfully, you can find portable autodock units which remove the alien from your body, but they are pretty rare to come by, so expect to die this way a lot. Here we have 3 of them at once, and they all take multiple shots with a pistol. I don't want to waste my precious shotgun ammo, I need them for the big aliens. See? Shit! This time I'm trying to keep my distance. Fuck! Another problem. If you shoot them when they're right next to you, you take damage from the splashing acid. So all in all, facehuggers are terrible enemies that just make your life miserable. Man, this isn't fun. I didn't have another portable autodock unit, so that's it I guess. At least you don't take damage by walking through acid in this game. Ripley probably has pink acid boots on. Do you need another reason to hate the facehuggers? Sometimes they play dead. Yeah, that's right. Always make sure to shoot them a couple of extra times just in case. Finally, the motion tracker. In this level we have to kill some Ripley clones. Disgusting. Bye bye. In this room there's a turret firing at you. I don't know if there's a way to avoid damage here, but I don't care because I can finally save for the first time in this stage. I'm very low on ammo, maybe I shouldn't have saved. Great, now I only have the pistol. I might as well kill myself.
From here on out, I didn't record every failed attempt anymore. I saved you from a lot of suffering and repetition.
Jumping ahead, after a few attempts I made some progress and destroyed the second clone. Plus, I found the pulse rifle.
Cha-ching!
Oh god, there are too many. Fuck! I don't have a unit, so I'm screwed. This machine gun is a problem. Look how much health I lost again. Can you feel my pain? Maybe I should just save after every move. I just killed the facehuggers. Ah shit, there was one left. God damn it. Maybe I'll find a unit somewhere. Might as well get into the vents. Oh, I'm almost dead. Damn, that was close. Hold on, did you see that? As soon as the alien is removed, this son of a bitch will jump into my face immediately. Or not. Time to save. So now I have to go back to the beginning of the level. I can't shoot through the blue shield. I've got to say, the pulse rifle is pretty damn effective. Let's grab some goodies and move on. What? Man, how stupid was that? I deserve an idiot award. Okay, so we're back and I don't like the sight of so many eggs at once. Man, fuck these facehuggers. They come out of nowhere. Well, it didn't matter because I died a few seconds later anyway. One from the front and one from the side? Are these aliens or fucking velociraptors? I killed those bastards and now I need another card. God, I hate this. As soon as you pick up something or push a button, you get ambushed. Now I know they're coming. This trial and error bullshit wouldn't be so bad if you could just save more often. Progress. Ah, see? I got lucky there. Ooh, shit sounds bad. Finally, another save point. It must have taken me over 10 attempts to get this far. It only gets worse. A million facehuggers attack me and of course the last one gets me. I only have a few units left. You gotta be kidding me! Okay, so from now on, I'll use the unit at the last possible moment to prevent shit like this. And by this point, I got to say, I don't know which enemy I hate more, aliens or humans. These assholes always give me trouble. This level is really long. Me dying all the time doesn't help either. Great, now they're even hiding crates. This guy is out of his mind. You think I'm the biggest problem here? Sometimes you can try and shoot the big ones from a distance before they spot you. Great, a save point. Where is it? Where is it? Fuck! I can't believe this! The game does this on purpose. You wanna save? You wanna save? Nope.
It's just my time you're wasting, nothing important.
What you want to do is trigger them and then go backwards. Otherwise you don't stand a chance. By this point they appear every few seconds, either from above or behind you. Not only is it stressful, but also terribly annoying. Here is something to make your day better. Facehuggers and fire coming out of walls. I hate my life. After countless enemies and a ton of luck, I found another clone and finished the stage. The level was awful. All in all, I think it might have taken me over 3 hours, and I honestly lost count how many times I died. If every level gets harder and harder, this is going to wipe out my time and patience. Level 4. Quarantine and R&D. We continue to play as Ripley, so we keep our arsenal from the previous level. Not a single alien for an entire minute? That can't be right. It's too quiet. 1, 2, 3, another one behind the door, one to the left. Where did these eggs come from? They weren't here before. Ah, come on, man! First death after 2.5 minutes.
This is going to be fun.
Ah, so there they were standing. Sneaky bastards. This level is confusing already and swarming with facehuggers. Sometimes my biggest enemy is my own stupidity. I should have known you can't walk through the gas unharmed. It took me about 10 attempts to even get this far. This is depressing. The beeping noise from the motion tracker is driving me nuts. I think I know what I hate the most about this game. You open a door after 20 minutes of gameplay, bam, dead. In the cheapest way possible. Every time I die I feel like quitting altogether. And even if I know there's a jumping son of a bitch behind the door, he still manages to kill me. This guy got me so many times it's not even funny. If only I had known there was a save point in the room nearby, I wouldn't have wasted at least 30 minutes. Here's another example of me being stupid. Remember this guy from the movie? If you manage to protect him for a while, you get rewarded with goodies. I accidentally shot him after 2 seconds. Sorry, bro. This level has more save points near the end, which is a slight relief. So I wasn't even mad when I died here. I had played for over 40 minutes straight without dying. Must be some kind of record. Yeah, this level is even longer than the last one. It was very difficult up to this point, but I had lots of ammo and quite a few medpacks and units. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have a flamethrower. Seems to work. So after what feels like an eternity, we face our first boss, the Alien Queen. She is huge. At first I had no idea what to do. Am I supposed to shoot her? Should I do something else first? It took me many attempts to figure this out, and every time I had to watch this boring cutscene. You have to crawl through some vents, push buttons and avoid all sorts of hazards. At least we're safe here for a moment. Then it's time to fire everything you got at her. She is way more intimidating than in Alien Trilogy, that's for sure. But the level isn't over yet. Kill some more aliens and clones and you're done. Like level 3, this one was terrible and took forever. I'd guess over 3 hours as well. I don't know which one was worse. I hate both. Level 5. Military Systems Complex. In this stage we play as Di Stefano.
I have seen this movie countless times and I had no idea who this Stefano is.
It's this dude. Don't remember him? Me neither. This means we don't have Ripley's weapons anymore. At least he has 60 bullets for the pulse rifle in addition to the pistol, so that's something. As soon as you open the door, you get attacked. And then again, and again, and again, and again. I haven't even left the first room! Surprise! Welcome to level 5, bitch! After that nightmare, you have to deal with 3 military dudes. I don't have any medicine, so thanks a lot. You know what else can kill you? A dying alien? Wonderful. In this case, it's easier to just stay in the corner and let them come to you. Don't let them surround you, you won't stand a chance. If they are 3 at once, standing in a corner might not be such a great idea after all. Nice, we have our shotgun back. That doesn't protect me from my own stupidity when I'm walking straight into a laser. After over half an hour, I can finally save. I swear to God, I never want to play that part ever again. But now we get to the part that would eventually break me. First, a big alien in a vent.
Okay, cool.
Then a surprise behind the door.
Great.
A room full of facehuggers.
Awesome.
Getting killed by a facehugger while having a chest burster inside of me.
Wait a minute. Why would they do that? Don't I have to be alive for this to work out for them? I'm probably just overthinking this.
I attempted this part so many times to no avail, making so little progress that it didn't matter. Then I started to run back to the save point after every enemy I killed, just so I didn't have to do it all over again. At a certain point you can't go back to it though. I had to kill these 3 aliens every single time. They are easy if you just stay here. But this room right here is too much for me. First we have some bloodthirsty marine dudes with machine guns and grenades. If you are lucky and able to kill them, you get ambushed by facehuggers. The AI isn't the best sometimes. Finally I made it past the room, but I got killed by this guy. The next time I killed him, but then some random alien got me from behind. I'm tired of just taking baby steps all the time and hearing the flatline every few minutes. After this, I didn't play the game for 1 entire month. I just couldn't bring myself to play it anymore. I had played the level for over 1.5 hours and barely made any progress. But I left the game on my table and it stared into my soul, reminding me daily of the duties I had yet to fulfill. After a month, I was ready to give it another shot, but it was the same shit. I died and died and died, and that's where I gave up completely.
I can't beat this game on normal. I'm sorry, I just can't. There's no way. The enemies are too strong, aiming at the facehuggers with the controller is incredibly difficult, and the save points are too far apart. I can't restart the level because I only have one save state. That's it. I'm done. Wait a minute. What's this?
Looks like my dad is a cheater. I remember this. My dad used to print cheats and walkthroughs at his job because we didn't have internet at home back then.
This is a piece of family history right here. Let's check out the cheats menu.
This looks promising. Infinite ammo and health, no chest burst, and no drown. Do I have to swim in this game? But I'll try something else first. You can jump to any level you like. Can I beat level 5 on easy without these fancy cheats? I would say there's a slight difference in difficulty. The enemies seem just a little bit slower, but I can't tell for sure. But I'll save you the trouble. I couldn't get any further than on normal. I get stuck at this part. So for me, this level is unbeatable. I rarely get so frustrated that I give up on a game for good, but this is a case where I just know that I'm not capable of this without getting a mental breakdown.
I still want to see what the rest of the game is like, so once again I started level 5, but this time with infinite health and no chest burst. No infinite ammo though.
I got to the point I couldn't beat, and even with cheats, this is stressful. And although I couldn't die anymore, the level would go on for another 45 minutes. So imagine doing this while dying all the time. It would take me days to complete this. Even with cheats, the facehuggers jump onto your face. They impregnate you, but nothing happens after that. So now it's just more annoying than anything else. Plus, you can't proceed at certain points if you have an alien in your body. In this level we find a grenade launcher, which is a great way to destroy several eggs at once. Other than that, there isn't much to say. So far the levels all look pretty much the same and there isn't much variety. Push a button here, destroy something there, kill an alien every 2 seconds. Despite the awesome atmosphere, it gets old pretty quickly. This room looks pretty cool though. There's one part where you have to crawl through a vent maze. It's even slower than the rest of the game and drags on for way too long. We finally get a new enemy near the end. A fucking mini tank. After what feels like a century, I finally beat the level. I haven't played a stage this hard in ages. I've played and beaten some very hard games in my day, but this is something else. And we've only beaten 50% of the game so far. Yes, there are 10 levels. Level 6. Maximum security. Now we play as Ripley again. There is one problem though. I don't have my weapons from level 4 because I cheated myself to level 5. So all I have is the lousy pistol. I don't even have the motion tracker anymore. I played for 5 minutes, but this is pointless and kind of sad actually. I'm not doing this. Now I'm roided up in full cheat mode. Infinite ammo also includes every weapon available in this stage you're in. I still don't have the motion tracker and that absolutely sucks. There is no way of telling where the enemies are sometimes. Here we have a mini-boss. General Perez and his flamethrower friends. Is he a man or a machine? Doesn't matter, he's dead. I just know that I would have died countless times here without cheats. This is another long level and it's easy to get lost because everything looks the same. There's this one part where you encounter some infected people in straitjackets. Killing them spawns more angry aliens. Near the end you kill another clone and after about 45 minutes this level was history. On to the next. Level 7. Mess Hall Complex. We play as Ripley again. You start in a room full of aliens. You didn't expect a break, did you? The level switches things up a bit because we have to dive. They can't be serious. Aliens underwater? I mean, it's just like in the movie, but I can't imagine how this is supposed to work without using cheats. I bet you'll blow yourself up half the time because you can only use the grenade launcher. I was afraid I would be running out of air constantly, but thankfully that wasn't the case. The aliens are on fucking speed in this stage. This is supposed to be the easy mode. Other than that, it's the same old shit. The level is much shorter though. Took me a little over 20 minutes. The ending is weird. Who are you? I'm Ripley and I need your help. Okay, cool, I'll do it. Level 8. Warehouse complex. Complex is right. Look at this map I found online. This level is insane. Even with cheats, this one took me 80 fucking minutes. Why? By far, it is the largest stage in the game. This time we play as Christie, one of the more memorable and badass characters from the movie. He has 2 pistols, a shotgun, a pulse rifle, a flamethrower, and a motherfucking rocket launcher. A large part of this stage takes place underwater. Thank God for these bubbles everywhere. A rare instance of mercy. For me, this was probably the most confusing part of the entire game. I got stuck here for longer than I'd like to admit. Wait a minute, these aliens look different. What's that supposed to mean? This is the only time these guys show up in the entire game, I believe. That's a bit odd, don't you think? Check this out. I'm trying to get some items, but the current draws me to the fan. And now I'm stuck. Apparently I can't even drown because of the infinite health. But there's no escape. What's the point of this? Man, it took me 17 minutes to get here from the last save point. And now I have to reload and do that shit again? Fuck this game. If only I had known there was a save point just around the corner. This level at least tries to change up the scenery a bit from time to time. Near the end you enter the alien hive. This is actually pretty neat and I kind of wish we could have seen more of it. The stage ends with this never-ending hallway. I fail to see the point. Overall, this was another terrible level full of cheap enemy placement, slow underwater sequences, and poor level design. The infinite rockets made it a little more bearable. Christie has the best weapons, that's for sure. Level 9. Docking Bay. The rest of the game is played as Ripley again. The level starts with this cutscene where you run away from the newborn. Remember that thing? I don't think it's as bad as most people say, honestly. But wait a minute, I couldn't save after the last stage. What happens if I die here? Do I go back to level 8? Oh, never mind. The 9th stage is about as short as level 7, I'd say. We start off without a single weapon, but soon find an electric gun. Let's see how that works. Great on the big ones, terrible on the small ones. Actually, this is kind of a pain in the ass to use as you have to charge the weapon for it to be more powerful. Thankfully, there's also a shotgun in this level. It doesn't take long before we face the newborn. I know it's supposed to be scary, but due to the limitations of the PlayStation, I find its look a little silly. It's pretty easy, just spray some electricity at it until it runs off. Then it's back to the same old stuff for a while until we meet the newborn again. Only electricity works here, but once again it's easy peasy. After 5 more minutes of mindless shooting, we actually get to see a CGI cutscene, which is the first since the opening cinematic. It's nothing special though. After the super long 8th level, this one was a nice change of pace, but I'm so tired of this game by now that I just want to get through with it. Level 10. The Betty. Fucking finally, the last stage. It's the shortest one in the game and the only one that doesn't take place on a USM Auriga, but instead the mercenary ship Betty. It's pretty faithful to the movie actually. There's just one enemy in this level, the newborn. It follows you around and you have to fire electricity at it to keep it off your ass. It's not very difficult and within just a few minutes you blow it to outer space. Not as brutal as in the movie, but that wouldn't have worked here anyway. The game ends with a really impressive CGI cutscene and the same lines of dialogue as in the movie. This was a much better ending than in Alien Trilogy. But was it worth it?
I don't know. I'm a stranger here myself.
Before we get into that, did you know that you can unlock the research mode by beating the game on the hardest difficulty setting? What a joke!
I know there are people out there who can do it, but I'm not one of them. So just for fun, I put in the code I found on this piece of paper. Depending on which of these lights you activate, you change the appearance of the enemies. You can make them small, very small, green, red, yellow, transparent, and fucking huge. No thanks.
So let's wrap this up. Where do I even begin?
Alien Resurrection is a technical masterpiece. It pushes the PlayStation to its limit, and I dare to say that it is the best looking game on the system. I thought so when I first played it, and my opinion hasn't changed in almost 20 years. Overall, it captures the feeling of the Alien franchise perfectly, and even surpasses the movie it's based on in that aspect.
Alien Resurrection, the movie, isn't really something I would call scary. The game, however, has you on the edge of your seat the entire time.
Just the sight of an enemy in this game causes a level of stress few other games can achieve. The movie has a limited setting, so I can't really blame the game for taking place on the same ship for 9 of the 10 levels. As much as I like the atmosphere, it gets quite repetitive after a while. The lighting is excellent and the game uses darkness to create an even more unsettling experience. The best aspect, however, is the sound. The lack of music immerses you even more into the game, and all the background sounds and screams create a level of suspense few games from that era could bring to the table. The weapons are okay for the most part. The pistols aren't very useful and the flamethrower isn't as great as it should be. My go-to weapons were the pulse rifle and the shotgun. My favorite weapon besides obviously the rocket launcher was the laser, but both of them are only available in one stage. That's a real shame and I don't really understand the reason for that. Another thing I like is that every playable character has its own HUD color.
There are two big-ass elephants from outer space in the room though, and you know where this is going.
First, the controls. I got better the longer I played, but aiming at small enemies is a total bitch.
I know you can play this game with a PlayStation mouse, but I never had one and I seriously doubt the game would be much easier with it.
Whereas you could run away from your foes in Alien Trilogy, this game doesn't have a run button and therefore is one of the slowest games I have ever played. The aliens are all so fast and I sit here feeling helpless like a turtle without a shell. The biggest issue has to be the difficulty.
I always thought Alien Trilogy was hard, but compared to Alien Resurrection, the hard mode of this one feels like a game for little kids.
I'm always in constant fear of running out of ammo and there's not enough medicine when you see just how many aliens attack you constantly. I think the game would have been much better if there were fewer enemies. Alien Isolation on the PS4 would perfect this formula years later.
So if you want a scary and hard but not impossible Alien experience on a console, play this game instead. Hell, play Alien Trilogy if you want a decent game on the PlayStation.
It's much more enjoyable even if it has its fair share of faults. I can't recommend Alien Resurrection with a good conscience. The developers actually thought the game was too easy, which is just amazing to me. I'd love to see one of them play this game. In case this video didn't scare you off, go ahead and try it. If you want to beat this legit without cheats or emulators, be prepared to spend a lot of your time on this project. You will have no life. Most people will probably turn off the game after a short while.
I don't like to give up on games, but I can say with certainty that I will never play this game ever again, and it is doomed to collect dust on my shelf for the rest of time.
Hey everyone, this is Gfrom. Thank you so much for watching my video. Feel free to rate, comment, subscribe and follow me on social media. I'll see you later. Have a nice day.